Throughout the year, we have focused on the essential question, what does it mean to be an American? We decided to show our growth by exploring a subtopic regarding immigrants in the job market.
Donguk, Ben, and I have decided that it was more of an advantage being an immigrant in the US than a disadvantage.
We interviewed several people to gain insight on their thoughts of the role of immigrants in the job market. We started with Mi-soon Cho, an immigrant from Korea.
미국으로 왔을 때 생활 한국어가 제일 어려운 거 뭐예요?
말이 안 통해서 힘들었어요.
구체적으로 뭐가 힘들었어요?
예를 들어서 애들을 키울 때 학교에 가서 궁금한 점이나 뭐 애로사항이 있을 경우 거기에 대해서 풀어나가기가 굉장히 힘들고 선생님들하고 의사소통이 안 되니까 무엇이 문제인지 제대로 파악을 못하고 여기 시스템을 모르니까 물어볼 사람도 없고 그런 것들이 제일 힘들었어요.
When you come from another country outside of America that doesn't really speak English, then the cultures, I guess, are kind of different, and you kind of have to get used to that, and that also makes it more difficult to get used to the people around here and how everything works in America.
Well, so where I came from, we only spoke Chinese. So when I first came, I had a pretty good command of written English, but I wasn't able to speak it. And I remember that when I came, I went to high school first, and it was impossible to communicate with people. I didn't know what the teacher was saying. I didn't know what the students were saying. A lot of people were making fun of me, and it was just really difficult. I remember having to walk from home to school and school to home every day, talking to myself, just trying to kind of get used to the sounds of English. And I mean, eventually, somehow you just kind of naturally learned it, and it became easier and easier as I, graduated and got into the working world, and later got used to it.
I did not speak English at all, so when I came to the United States, I think I came on a Friday and was placed in school on Monday. So I didn't know the culture, I didn't know the language, I didn't have any friends, I couldn't communicate with anybody, so it was extremely hard. We came from a communist country to a completely democratic country, so the changes were like 180, completely opposite direction from what I was used to. So it took me quite a while to adapt to life in the United States.
In Their Eyes Were Watching God, Jody Starks, second husband of Janie, travels from Georgia to Eatonville with all of his belongings in a cart to pursue his dreams of being mayor of his own town. When he initially got to the town, there was nothing but a few shacks and a handful of residents. Jody made it his job to lead the creation of the town and become mayor. This position is similar to those who have immigrated to America. Many came here with nothing but the clothes on their backs and a blurry vision of the future. Just like Jody, our interviewees had to build their dreams from the ground up. This made it harder to pursue and achieve their dreams because they didn't have the stable base that a native had from the start.
Do you believe there are disadvantages or advantages as immigrants in the job market?
I think they're both advantages and disadvantages. To be an immigrant in the U.S. job market, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So for advantages, I think especially now when we are in a very connected world, we're a very internationally diverse and connected world right now. You have foreign people coming to do business in the United States, and you have American business people going overseas to do business. And I feel that being an immigrant, if you can understand the American system somewhat, since you're actually from a culture overseas, so you have that cultural background, and being an immigrant allows you to make it easier to you would actually get an advantage of having that cultural background in this job market.
In The Boys in the Boat, Joe Rance worked with extreme determination to achieve his dreams. He dreamed of getting into the UW road team, but he didn't have the financial support of getting into the college. When he was younger, Joe Rance didn't have a job to support himself besides fishing illegally, but as he grew up, he worked multiple jobs in order to support himself. In the end, he got into the road team and won in the Berlin Olympics, which was rigged by Hitler. This story was every immigrant's dream. Mi-soon, Andy, and Natasha all hoped for this result when they initially immigrated to America. Our group believed that everybody, immigrant or not, had the same opportunity in the job market, and we stand firmer in our beliefs through the interview of Andy. He talks about how being an immigrant is a benefit to getting jobs. Knowing different cultures allows you to appeal to a variety of employers, which can land you a job with greater ease. America was created from the ground up by immigrants for immigrants, and this legacy left behind by the very first Americans is still being carried on today.
I don't think, yes, the answer is yes. I think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. I think being bilingual, multicultural, having seen the world outside of the United States gives you a perspective that you may not get if you were born here. And I would say the disadvantages are that may not pertain to me because I was so young and I no longer have an accent, is that there are still some for lack of a better term, racist sort of feelings about immigrants and their ability to speak English and things like that that are completely unfounded. And so there may be some pushback when immigrants try to get jobs, which of course is ridiculous, but it does happen and it happens all the time. So, I think overall immigrants are extremely hardworking. They came to the United States with very little, like my family did, and most have built successful, productive lives. And I think that is by far an advantage and not a disadvantage.
Gatsby from the book The Great Gatsby starts off as a son to a fairly unsuccessful farming couple, but he had the opportunity to change with chances of becoming rich, and he took it. He changed his foreign last name from Gats to Gatsby and pursued his dreams of riches. Similarly, Natasha started with little when she initially arrived in America, but she took this opportunity to change her life for the better by working hard to get a good job and make a better future for herself. During the beginning of the year, we had an impression that being an immigrant was an advantage in obtaining jobs. We still stand firmly with our claim based on what we have heard from our interviewees. Although we have heard some of the disadvantages of being an immigrant in America, we believe that the advantages outweigh them in a great manner. Being an immigrant allows you to be a sort of bridge between cultures where you open yourself up to more employers. Also, being an immigrant allows you to have a different perspective on the world compared to the native counterpart.